On Helena, we wanted to give her length and undercolor. So the first row was started off using a solid row of a copper red. We first began by relaxing her hair and then flat ironing it, especially at the roots, so that when we apply the bonds, it has a nice connection. The first row is just at the mid-ear. We didn't have to start real low on her. With our resin, which is not a glue, it's naturally derived, when you go to retouch her hair, you would apply the relaxer to the roots, which would then be on the other side of the bonds because the hair is now grown off from the head. And if you were to get any of the relaxer on the bonds, it will not remove. So here you can see Tammy, she's applying each extension one at a time. She takes a small amount of hair, she lifts up the client's hair, she pulls down onto the silicone pad, and then with the rolling technique that we teach you, she creates the shape of a football. As long as it's shaped like a football, it will protect the hair from the shampoos and the conditioners. And you can see how precise she puts them in. She had just learned how to do these 1 month prior to this video shoot. We decided to use her because we also wanted to show people that you don't have to do these forever to become an expert like this. So there you can see what a finished row looks like and how neat and clean it is. We teach you to work very neat and very precise. That's extremely important. They're only as good as the time you put into them. And now Dennis is flat ironing them to blend where her hair stops and where the extensions are so that he can then cut them. We do a lot of dry cutting. You can see here that he's point cutting. Now if you pay attention closely, you'll see that every time he opens the scissors, as he closes them, he's pulling his hand away from the hair that he's cutting. If you point cut and you're constantly cutting your fingers, it's because you're closing the blade as you're going into the hair, not away from the hair. And here he's just going into the hair, he's looking at it, and he's point cutting and he's slide cutting. Now here where he's going to take a nice solid vertical parting, and it's important, extensions are only going to be as good as the time you put into the application, and then even more so the cutting afterwards. It's extremely important to take your time and cut them to make them work. So now what he's going to do is he's going to slide cut, but he's just kind of opening and closing his scissors very quickly so he doesn't rip through the hair. If he was to just blunt cut that angle, when the hair then dropped, you would see steps and it would look like he made a mistake. So here's Helena with her hair just down right after the cut, and even with the fan blowing on it, there's no way to tell that this lady is wearing extensions. And then her hair was set in hot rollers, and when they took the hot rollers out, they didn't break the set out. They just let the hair fall in the curl pattern. This is to show you that extensions isn't about just having long hair that's straight. It can be worn up, it can be worn down. It's up to you. It depends on how much you can think out of the box and how creative you can get. And there's Helena. Thank you.